Do you know why I've been trying to stay off the panic bus for so long with this football? Because the Jazz and the Pittsburgh Penguins in basketball and hockey are terrible. Well, hockey club is decent, but still, they're not very good yet. My two football teams were the only teams that I had going for me, and for the first time this season, both of them lost. Both of them. Falcons lost a couple games, but this was the first time ever this season that both of my teams lost. Yeah, believe it or not, the Cougars lost. All I can say is that this week, for me, was shameful, embarrassing, humiliating, and disorienting. Absolutely horrible. Let me tell you, this is going to be a hard video to go through. With that being said, welcome back to Grizzly Talks Football. We got Week 12 college football and Week 13 AP poll reactions. I know the AP doesn't mean shit, but as always, it's my duty to present it to you. We got a couple upsets, including the one that you just heard about in the beginning of the video. But we're going to get to our college game day kickoff like we always do. And by the way, it's going to be all in one game next week. Ohio State, Indiana. I will get to that game day pick a little bit later. But anyways, if you are new to this series, make sure to click the link in the description to the entire playlist. I'll make sure it's there. Make sure to check my other socials too, Twitter and Twitch as well. Make sure you view that for all status updates and also streams if I ever do some. Anyways, click the link in the description to the full playlist so you'll have every single video there, every episode there, so you guys are all caught up and you'll have it for future videos whenever I post. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. Make sure you smash that like button as well. And without further ado, let's get to the games. Oh, God help me, please. Kicking things off, we had college game day in Athens with number 11 Georgia. Actually, this is number 12. And number 7 Tennessee having a little clash in the SEC. I know these are AP rankings. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, it was 7 versus 12. Georgia ended up scoring points in the second half, and that was the big difference in the game. Tennessee had a good start, but fortunately, second half, they made way too many mistakes. 31-17 was the final. All I can say is, it is confirmed that Georgia is a second half team. They have no life in the first half, pretty much. On defense, well, second quarter, they were alive on offense, but still, they only showed their full strength in the second half. And this is also back-to-back college game days that I got correct for the SEC. I predicted Alabama last week, and this week I predicted Georgia. Well, actually, it was 2 weeks ago. I predicted Alabama. Last week I predicted Georgia. But you get what I mean. I got both of them right, so hopefully I can make it 3 in a row with the next game day pick. As far as passing goes, Nico Yamaliava had one of his worst games. He had a fumble, the only turnover of the game. 170 yards, only 20 of 33. Ouch. No touchdowns or picks. Carson Beck, he is still a mid-quarterback, but this was a pretty good game. 25-40 for 350 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day. The rushing offense was the only thing that got going for Tennessee. Obviously, Dylan Sampson, 100 yards and a score of 5 yards to carry, with the other touchdown going to Miles Kitselman. Not important, but Miles Kitselman was also the guy that got 4 catches for 46 yards, leading the team. As far as Georgia, Carson Beck added a rushing touchdown along with Nate Frazier on the ground. The most receiving yards in the entire game for Georgia was 63. London Humphreys had 3 catches for 63 yards, but both of the touchdowns went to Oscar Delp, the tight end. Like I said before, I think Carson Beck is just a mid-quarterback. He'll probably be picked in like the 5th or 6th round, in my personal opinion. Maybe a 7th round. I just don't see him being a first-round talent at all. No sacks, a couple of passes defensed, and there was also a forced fumble by Jason Moy. That's it for Tennessee's defense. 5 sacks for Georgia's defense, including 2 from Chaz Chambliss. There was also a forced fumble by Damon Wilson, recovered by Chris Cole. Both these teams are still alive in the playoff hunt, but the road is not going to be easy whatsoever for any 2 of these teams. Yeah, I think Texas A&M is still first place, or something like that. Texas is there as well. Those two have to fight in the rivalry game soon. I'm excited for that, but anyways, good win, Georgia. Up next, we got the big new kickoff game between the Utah Utes and the Colorado Buffaloes, who were number 17 in the playoff poll. 49-24, Colorado smacked the Utes. Who would have thought that every single top 3 team in the preseason Big 12 standings would take L's this week? Oklahoma State's not bowl-eligible. Utah and Kansas State lost in the same weekend. What the hell's going on? I can't wait till you guys see that playoff bracket that's going to happen. Boise State with a bye is absolutely unreal. Let's stay on track, though. Isaac Wilson, Zach Wilson's brother, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Ouch. Yep, and 21 of 40 for 240 yards. Not terrible, but not great. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders, 3 of 30 of 41, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Man. We're going to skip the rushing game because somehow this was bad for both teams. I was kind of expecting it on Colorado, but I wasn't expecting it for Utah. Only 20 yards for Bernard. Maybe he got hurt? I don't know. 4 catches for 70 yards for Carson Ryan, with Dorian Singer and Caleb Lohner getting the only touchdowns through the air. Rushing touchdowns, there were 3 of them. Isaiah Augustave had 59 rushing yards and a score. Travis Hunter had a rushing touchdown, and so did Charlie Offerdahl. I hope I said 2 of those names right. 6 catches and 108 yards and a score for Draylon Miller, but the other 2 touchdowns went to Will Shepard. Oh yeah, Shepard also had that 1 fumble. I counted 3 sacks for the Utes defense. Interception by Lander Barton. I don't know if he and Cody are related, but I'm just going to look past that. Forced fumble by Tao Johnson. Oh yeah, Barton had a fumble recovery, and so did Junior Tafuna. Colorado's defense had 4 sacks in this game, 3 interceptions. Nikai Hill-Green, Travis Hunter, and DJ McKinney got picks. Oh yeah, and there's also a fumble recovery by Keaton Wade, and there were 3 forced fumbles by the Buffs defense. Wow. Utah's defense played solid, but the offense just couldn't get anything going, and Colorado took full advantage in the 4th quarter, scoring 21 points. 14 points in the 1st quarter was also good, but the 4th quarter was where they really shined. As a Cougs fan, I hope to see you in the Big 12 Championship so we can humble you guys. Because lately, I've seen a lot of Colorado fans thinking they have this conference on lockdown. You think you've seen anything? Wait till the Big 12 Championship, but we'll see about that. Only one top 25 matchup this week besides Georgia-Tennessee. We had Missouri losing to the Gamecocks in Columbia, 34-30. I'm not gonna lie, this was a very good game, and yeah, sorry Missouri, you're probably going to be out of the rankings at the playoff. You were already out of the AP poll. But South Carolina, where did this come from? Let me tell you, this team could easily be 9-1, but nope, they're 7-3. They almost beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and they almost beat LSU as well. Yikes. Brady Cook didn't have a bad game. 21-31, 240 yards, a touchdown and interception. But Lenore Sellers, 21-30, 350 yards. I know he threw an interception, but he also had 5 touchdowns this game. Wow. Besides Nate Noel's 150 yards and a score, rushing game was not exciting. I know Marcus Carroll had a touchdown, but rushing game was a little bland. As for Missouri, Theo Weiss had 6 catches for 85 yards. Luther Burton, though, had 8 catches, 69 yards, and the only receiving touchdown. For Missouri, of course. And for South Carolina, 2 catches for 86 yards for Delavon Campbell, with 5 touchdowns going to different players, including Raheem Sanders. Nothing too exciting except for a sack by Johnny Walker and an interception by Drayden Norwood for Missouri's defense. But South Carolina had 2 sacks, including one from Kyle Kennard, one of the best defenders in the SEC, in my opinion, and an interception by Jalen Kilgore. Also, shout out to Nick Emenwari for double-digit tackles. And can we please give a shout out to Blake Craig, Missouri's kicker, for getting 3 field goals and 10 total points for his team. Not much else to say except South Carolina might be for real. Welcome back to the Jadavian Clowney days of South Carolina football. Close to it. Yep. Yeah, you knew this game was coming. For sure. One, because it's my team. Second, because it's an upset. Yeah, we're kicking off the upsets with this game. I hate my life. Anyways, Kansas was 3-6 at the time. Upsets number 6 BYU. I know it says number 7, but 6 in the playoff poll. 17-13. Gosh. We just made too many mistakes this game. People who blame the refs have no idea what this game was. We couldn't stop Devin Neal. We couldn't stop Jalen Daniels. We couldn't even stop ourselves from making mistakes that we shouldn't. We had an interception and a muffed pooch kick. Yeah, Jalen Daniels had a pooch kick that we muffed. Jalen Daniels, he didn't have the greatest game at all. 12 of 19, 170 yards, no touchdowns and an interception throwing the ball, but he still led the team to a win. As far as Jake goes, 18 of 28, 190 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Unfortunately, that interception was a bullet pass. By the way, Jake Ratzlaff, you need to go talk to somebody about how to get some touch in your throws because you don't have any touch at all. You don't have a tight sparrow. All you are is just zipping in there. You need to have some touch on your throws. Seriously, go talk to somebody. Anyways, as far as touchdowns go, Devin Neal got rushing touchdowns, 2 of them for 52 yards, and Luke Grimm had 4 catches for 77 yards. Great day for him. Rushing game for us wasn't terrible. I wish we ran the ball a lot more. 15 carries for 76 yards, especially at the end of the first half, but it is what it is. Hank Rapati got the only touchdown, with Chase Roberts getting 5 catches for 71 yards. Evan Johnson was also the one that muffed a pooch kick. Interception by Romello Dotson. That was the one in the end zone at the end of the half. Quentin Skinner also had the fumble recovery on the muff. Oh yeah, and 2 sacks, and also Marvin Grant had double-digit tackles this game. Nothing exciting from our defense except the fact that Mark Collins got the only turnover of the game for our defense. Don't have our confidence shattered because Kansas City lost in the same week as well. We were both undefeated and we both lost. So I'm mixed about this. Can we please just move on to the next game? Please. Thank you. And now we got the LSU Tigers, who were, I believe, 22nd in the poll. Getting upset in the swamp by Florida. First time that Florida has won against LSU since 2018. 27-16 was the final score. Is Florida slowly but surely coming back to life? No idea. If LSU wasn't already eliminated, they've definitely been eliminated now. Garrett Nussmeier, 27 of 47 for 260 yards and a touchdown this game, with DJ Lagway having 13 of 26 for 230 yards, also with a touchdown. Caitlin Durham led the rushing game with 95 yards. Rushing game for both teams were solid, like 2 touchdowns for Jaden Bogg and Jacoby Jackson, 10 yards a carry for Bogg. As far as receiving for LSU, Aaron Anderson, 7 catches for 72 yards and a score. And for Florida, it was the Elijah Badger show, 100%. 6 catches, 131 yards and a score. What a game. What a game to pop off. Skip this LSU defense. Nothing exciting came from them. Despite not being able to stop a run, Florida had Shamar James get 2 sacks. There was also a fumble recovery by Caleb Banks in this game. That was the only turnover of the game. Offensive shootout for the most part, but Florida's one forced turnover pretty much won them the game almost. Great win, Gators. Remember when I said that Kansas State and Utah lose in the same week? Yup. Kansas State lost to Arizona State in Manhattan. They sure did. Absolutely unbelievable. 24-14, Arizona State is 8-2, and they're going to be ranked in the playoff poll next week for sure. Well, tomorrow night. But the fall-off of Kansas State needs to be studied right now. Sam Leavitt had a heck of a game. He had 21 of 34 for 270 yards, 3 touchdowns, while Avery Johnson had himself a game that he would love to forget. 24-40, 250 yards, but 2 interceptions. Cameron Scadabo had 70 yards this game, and Jordan Tyson, he may have had a fumble, but he had himself 12 catches, 176 yards, and 2 touchdowns, with the other one going to Matire. You go, Jordan. As far as Kansas State, DJ Giddens, 140 rushing yards. Eric Free Johnson had himself a rushing touchdown. Not sure what happened to Dylan Edwards. Maybe he got hurt. I don't know. Joe Jackson had himself a rushing touchdown as well. And Dante Cephas had 4 catches for 65 yards. That was basically it. 2 interceptions for Arizona State's defense. Xavier Alford and Shamari Simmons, who also had a forced fumble that was recovered by J.N. Robinson. And despite a sack and a forced fumble by Usher Maine that was recovered by Jordan Riley Scott, not much to really show for. VJ Payne and Austin Moore had double-digit tackles, but unfortunately for them, they just could not stop the pass attack. Apparently, they could not stop Jordan Tyson, the Wildcats couldn't, and Arizona State is 8-2 in their first year in the Big 12. I'm really scared to play in Tempe. I really am. See you Saturday, Sun Devils. Up next, we got the Louisville Cardinals, who were ranked, losing to a 2-7 Stanford team, 38-35. What? I gotta say, this was the more embarrassing loss than the other one. This team was 2-7 and you lost to them? I think they were 21-point dogs if I'm not sure Stanford was. Those of you who are sports bettors that know what I'm talking about, props to you for whoever bet Stanford to cover the spread, because they not only did that, they won the game. I don't know what happened to Tyler Shaw. He had 270 yards, 26-39, a touchdown and a pick, while Ashton Daniels had 22-33 for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Oh yeah, Justin Lamson threw a touchdown because why not? Well, at least Duke Watson and Don Chaney got you guys some points. Speaking of Duke Watson, 10 yards a carry, 120 yards, and 3 touchdowns just to lose. How dare you guys waste this guy's performance? Same with Chris Bell and Shakari Brooks. Both of them having 9 catches each for 100 yards each, with Bell getting a score. Like, you guys had great statistics for nothing. Rushing game for Stanford was horrible, but Emmett Mosley, good God, 13 catches, 168 yards, and 3 touchdowns? Damn! Elik Ayumaner also got himself a touchdown. I don't think I said that right at all. You're telling me the defense put up 5 sacks and got an interception for Corey Thornton? Forced fumble by Jared Johnson. But you still lost because the defense couldn't defend a fly on the pass. Sure, Stanford had no sacks, but they did have an interception from Gathan Bernadelle. That's pretty much it for the defense. The Louisville Cardinals really let Stanford win an offensive shootout. Stanford. There is a lot of discussions to be made in that Louisville locker room after that one. That was embarrassing. For the defense, should I say, and some bit of Tyler Shaw. And this is the final upset of the week. Washington State lost to a New Mexico team that, by the way, lost to a 2-win Wyoming team, and Montana State, who is in the FCS. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that New Mexico was an underdog against Montana State? Against the FCS team. Yeah, they were an underdog. How did you lose to them, Washington State? Especially since John Mateer played out of his mind. 25 of 36 for 375 yards and 4 touchdowns. How do you waste a performance like that? Wait till you see Devin Dempier's rushing numbers. 174 yards and a touchdown. But wait till you see his rushing. Oh yeah, and also John Mateer added a rushing touchdown, which means he had 5 total touchdowns, all to himself. But Devin Dampier had himself 200 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. This guy's the next Jordan Lynch. Oh yeah, and Eli Sanders also got 100 yards and a touchdown. Washington State couldn't stop the run for anything. Yeah, Washington State's defense was the problem this game. By the way, Kyle Williams, 9 catches, 181 yards and 3 touchdowns. Golly, man. with Carlos Hernandez having 4 catches for 67 yards. You really wasted Kyle Williams and John Mateer's performances like that defense? And Caleb Manford got the only touchdown for New Mexico through the air. I'm only just going to go over the double-digit tacklers. Tariq El-Ugda, I hope I said that right. I couldn't see there because it doesn't show the whole character. Dang it, Sports Reference. He got himself double-digit tackles. And so did Jaden Wilson with double-digit tackles, with Drew Speech forcing a fumble, even though it didn't amount to much. And yet another ranked team loses an offensive shootout. First Louisville, now Washington State. What is going on in this NCAA football? Crazy stuff. This is usually where it stops, but I wanted to talk about this game right here because this is just insane to me. But Oregon took a trip to Madison as the #1 team in the country, and they almost lost to Wisconsin. They needed 10 points in the fourth quarter to beat the Badgers. 16-13 was the final. Oregon, you may have the head-to-head against Ohio State, but this is unacceptable. I mean, seriously, Dylan Gabriel didn't throw a single touchdown, and y'all want to call that guy the Heisman? 2 to 18 yards and an interception on 22 of 31 passing. Braden Luck, he had 12 of 28 for 100 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. He almost lost to a guy that threw for 100 yards. All I gotta say is, thank goodness for Jordan James, and thank goodness for your kicker, because those two guys showed up. 121 yards with 5 yards to carry and a score for James. Tommy Walker had 97 yards on the ground as well with 5 yards to carry, but no touchdowns. 10 catches for 92 yards for Evan Stewart, absolutely insane game. And Vinny Anthony, 4 catches for 53 with Will Pauling getting the only touchdown on the receiving end. Oregon's defense had themselves 2 sacks, including an interception from Matayo Uiagalelei, and a forced fumble by Tatum Tuioti. Wisconsin also had 2 sacks, along with the interception by Nizier Forgeron. Yeah, Atticus Sampington absolutely carried y'all besides Jordan James. Actually, no. Atticus carried the Ducks this game. And kind of did Fakos from Wisconsin. Yeah. Both the kickers carried their teams. Never speak of this game again, Oregon. You got lucky. And now the moment you guys have been waiting for. Week 13's AP poll. I'm kidding, you weren't waiting for this. You're waiting for the playoff poll. Top 5 still the same. I'm going to go straight to 6 through 10. Notre Dame, Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Miami all move up. And so do Boise State and SMU. BYU dropped to 14. Oh, sorry, Tennessee dropped. My bad. I don't understand why Georgia's ahead of Ole Miss and SMU's ahead of BYU. Don't head-to-heads mean anything to you? It's going to be very surprising to see that Boise State has a bye right now. I'm at a loss of words right now. Obviously, if the Broncos lose any one of their upcoming games, it frees up the Big 12 to get back into the bye. But if the Big 12 champion has a second loss, Boise State might actually have a chance to get the bye. Texas A&M didn't move. Colorado, Clemson, Army, South Carolina goes to 19, Tulane gets to 20. Arizona State and Iowa State are back. Well, Arizona State's first time. UNLV's back. Illinois' back. Well, I think they were already there. And Washington State dropped to 25. Interesting. And now we gotta talk about the college game day that's coming up on Saturday afternoon. The big noon kickoff / college game day game is between Ohio State and Indiana in Columbus. Indiana has done very well to get this far, but unfortunately I got Ohio State beating them and ending their undefeated season, just like I felt like Utah was going to beat BYU 2 weeks ago. Or no. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. I don't hate Indiana. I know I picked them to lose to Washington, but I don't hate them at all. I just think Ohio State just has a better team right now. Kurt Cignetti has really impressed me, but if he can beat Ohio State, he's got my Coach of the Year vibes right now. Let me tell you, I think maybe even despite the result, I think Cignetti's going to get Coach of the Year. But you gotta be Ohio State to really be on the radar. I'm not sure about it, but if you guys win, I think you make the Big Ten Championship against Oregon. Not sure. But anyways, Ohio State wins. Anyways, that is going to do it for this episode of Grizzly Talks Football. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you smash that like button, hit the red subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. That's all from the Grizz, and until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace.